Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. And right now, you're railing with the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker. In the episode about acknowledging the Usos as the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, I talked about different teams that should challenge them for those titles. I talked heavily about prestige, the prestige that they've built for themselves and the prestige of the championships. But I never at that time thought it would be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens who would challenge them for those titles. And since the recording of that episode, I watched how the story developed with the Bloodline, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the Usos, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and how it's all played out and how they built to where it is now, to where KO and Sami can challenge the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. And it seems right. But now that we're here, how much prestige do you give it? Their title clash, it's going to be one of the most anticipated matches of both nights of WrestleMania. Wherever it falls, it's going to be one of the most anticipated matches. Many are expecting this to be where the Usos lose the titles, setting up a run between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So let's start here. I feel like it should be a main event. If Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is going to headline night 2 of WrestleMania, I feel that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos should headline night 1. This has been a meticulously built story. The relationships, the heartache, the heartbreak, the tension, all of it has been carefully crafted, and it's earned a worthy payoff. The payoff certainly could be Sami and KO winning the titles, besting the Usos in an unforgettable tag team match. All 4 of these guys are for the best to ever do it. Let's just be honest, okay? Let's dissect this. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, trained in reality of wrestling by Booker T, brought into the WWE, with the Samoan heritage. And then they continue to evolve into who and what they are now. The Uso Penitentiary, all the different character traits and characteristics that they've developed over the years to who and what they are now in the Bloodline with Roman Reigns, who and what they are now as a tag team, as real life brothers, twins who have dominated the tag team scene in WWE. Their history with the New Day, their history with the Street Profits, the Brawling Brutes. The list goes on and on. But all of that led to where we are right now and to the team that they are right now. And everything that's happening within their group, it's combustible. And here you have Sami and Kevin Owens, who history dates back way past WWE. Tag champions together elsewhere, bitter rivals elsewhere. Have you guys ever seen Ladder War between Kevin Steen and El Generico, aka Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? If you have not, I recommend that you go find that match on YouTube or wherever it's available and watch it. It is epic. And it will give you even more insight into their in-ring relationship, not just outside the ring, and who they are to each other in real life outside the ring, and who they are to each other professionally, which is based on their real life relationship, but who they are as opponents. For years, who they've been to each other as opponents. To this moment now, where they're teaming up again, but this time to challenge for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles against the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. A spinoff of this storyline with the Bloodline that has been one of the best that WWE, one of the best stories WWE has ever told. Many people feel that way. And it took a minute, but I feel that way. The more I go back and watch clips, the more I go back and watch matches, the more I go back and watch segments and revisit how this story has unfolded. Dating back to Roman first winning the Universal Championship, dating back to Roman's feud with Jay. This is where it started and how it's built to this. It was just Jay and Roman and waiting for Jimmy to return, and Jimmy's return, and Jimmy trying to separate Jay from Roman, and Roman trying to get Jimmy to join them, and then all the little details. Sami joining them. Roman's feud with Kevin Owens. It's been incredibly, it's been so well crafted. It's earned a place in our hearts, in our thirst for entertainment. For those of us who like storytelling, for its conclusion to be worthwhile. Again, in that previous episode, I talked about prestige. The prestige that the Usos have earned as a tag team and as tag team champions, multi-time tag team champions, and then becoming the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. How they earned that prestige after defeating the New Day, who were previously the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, having bested the record held by Demolition. It's all well documented and well built. Now we have this house, we have this kingdom, we have this tower that needs to be knocked down. And if you're going to knock it down, it needs to be knocked down in a spectacle. It can't just be something that happens at a random time in a random place on a random day that doesn't matter as much. But if it's the main event at WrestleMania on night one, whew, prestigious. Certainly prestigious. Do I want Kevin and Sami to win? I do. Because for me, being a person who enjoys storytelling, yes, I want that ending. I want to see fans cheering. I want to see fans crying. I want to see the hugs. I want to see what the fallout is. After the Sami and Kevin have won the titles and the Usos have lost the titles, and where they go beyond that point. Because then that begins a new story, a sequel of sorts, a spinoff, or a continuation, however you want to look at it. They can continue to make it compelling. But if they should win those titles from the Usos, give them time to celebrate being champions and put them in matches against other teams. Even give them a very cool finishing move. They should have some double team move. Imagine Sami Zayn lifting up one of the Usos and twirling them around like it's going to be a blue thunder bomb, and somehow he turns into a pop-up power bomb. Something that would leave the crowd awestruck, like, whoa, one of those moves. They need a whoa move. The Usos doing the 1D is cool. It pays homage to the Dudleys, as a lot of teams should. I more prefer them doing the big splash. That's more them. It's exciting to see them do it, but them doing 3D, it's fine. The 1D, as they call it, it's fine. Again, it pays homage to the Dudleys, as most teams should. Them without the titles, it allows for the story to continue to be disassembled. The story of the bloodline be disassembled. The tension between Jimmy and Jay, the tension between Jimmy and Roman, Jay and Roman, and then Solo. Regardless of what happens, his allegiance is going to be with his brothers. I think that's clear. His allegiance is going to be with his brothers. And you can set up a match ultimately dating back to the beginning, where it kind of ends with Roman and Jay. Give Jay his redemption. Let him beat Roman. Then on Sami and Kevin's side, let them go on a run with the titles. Let them clash with some different teams. Let them challenge some different teams. Have some high-flying, fast-paced, fun matches against some other opponents that you wouldn't expect them to clash against for the titles. Give the Maximum Male Models a shot. Alpha Academy a shot. Or whatever they're going to be called. It could just be Chad Gable and Otis. I'm liking how that's developing too. But give them a shot. Street Profits, Viking Raiders, whomever. Let Kevin and Sami go on this run with the titles and they're lovey-dovey, but we all know how that's going to end. It's going to end with Kevin turning on Sami. As it should. That should continue to be a cloud that kind of hangs over them together. That at some point, Kevin's going to turn on them. And let them be the modern, this era's Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. Let these two battle over one of the world titles. Should Cody defeat Roman Reigns, he walks away with the titles and they decide to separate the titles and put one on SmackDown, one on Raw. Whichever one Cody takes, which I'm thinking is going to be the WWE title. If they do separate them, that's going to be the one that he's going to hold. Let Sami and Kevin eventually clash over the Universal title. But for now, we have a prestigious tag team match at WrestleMania. The Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for those straps. And I think that it's earned the right to be the night one main event at WrestleMania. What do you think?
Thank you for listening to Railing with the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, on the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and support the platform wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow The Whip Show podcast on all social media, and follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joe Walker. No excuses. Championships only. Be kind, be creative, win.